In 2010 August, I did my first SIP. I started with 10,000 piece, kept on increasing for 50,000, 1 lakh kiya. Today it is 41 lakhs 20,000.
41 lakh 20,000 per month.
Imagine after 30 years, every installment that went every month, you are getting back 7 lakh
20,000
per installment. This is the game of compounding model.
Wow.
So suppose आपका 42 lakhs का loan outstanding है, उस पे you would have paid an interest of 60 lakhs additional. I'm giving you a nice hack.
Okay.
So if you do an SIP of 4,000, you will recall the full amount of EMI paid by you, which is 32,000 for the next 27 years. आपका पूरा free हो.
My God.
SIP is one of the best invention in our century. The moment you start saying कि आज नहीं करता हूँ, कल करता हूँ, you've lost the game.
Look at a person who has just started his first job,
Yeah.
26, 27-year-old, and now if I had to make an investment strategy for him on mutual funds, कैसा करेगा इसका?
सबसे पहले
Hey guys, in today's video, we are going to do a mutual fund masterclass. We are going to talk about everything that there is about selecting mutual funds, how do we track them, how do we invest in them, and how do we use it for different use cases in our entire portfolio. And today, to understand all of this, I have got Mr. Gajendra Kothari, who is an expert in the mutual fund industry. He had started investing with 10,000 rupees as a SIP. And today, I think his SIPs are worth more than 30 lakh rupees per month. Now, he is also the founder of Etica Wealth Capital, and he is also a mutual fund distributor. So today, we're going to learn everything that there is about mutual funds. Also, guys, before starting the video, a big shout out to Grow, because they have made our channel a part of the Grow network, and that has been instrumental in us actually expanding the channel, building a research team, and also work on getting these amazing content out for you guys. So again, a big shout out to Grow. And if you want more information about Grow, you can definitely check out the link in the description. So, hi Gajendra sir, I am very, very, very happy that you have come today, because I'll tell you one big problem that's happening in our entire circle, right? Mutual fund investing is something that is very easy, but also very complicated for people, because we don't know exactly what to do and where to invest. And I know you are an expert. So today I want to understand everything that there is about mutual funds, basically like a masterclass from you. Is that okay?
Definitely. Let's dive
Okay.
in right away.
So first I want to know from your end, how was your journey in the mutual fund industry? Because you started somewhere.
Yes.
How did you start your SIP journey, and like how has it evolved over time?
So fairly simple. So I was a part of mutual fund industry in 2004. I came to Bombay in 2004. I got selected in a mutual fund firm, UTI Mutual Fund, by campus placement. Until that day, I didn't know anything about mutual funds. And I'm talking about way back in 2004.
2004?
Where the entire industry, mutual fund industry, may be around 2-3 lakh crores
Okay, that's
AUM.
all. Wow.
And just to give you a context, today we are at 75 lakh crore AUM.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
21 years.
Huh.
The industry has just kind of taken off,
Yeah.
So in 2003-04, the era was very different. Very few people in our country had idea about mutual funds. So even when I joined mutual funds, even within the mutual fund industry, very few people had idea and so much faith and conviction in this vehicle. When I look around my colleagues and people around the industry, very few.
But तभी education नहीं होता था. There's not.
था, but बहुत limited था. YouTube वगैरह कुछ just आए थे.
Amphi and all was not
Amphi
very.
was there, but not active at all.
Got it.
So कुछ भी नहीं था. What you are seeing today, not
Yeah.
even 1% was there then.
Because now we have all the campaigns of mutual funds sahi hai and all that.
It's at a different level right now, right? So I was 24 that time. There was nobody to guide me that time.
In 2004.
In 2004. So I did all sort of mistakes, even though as a part of mutual fund industry for 5 years. Believe me, nobody told, what are you doing? You should put all your money. The only money that I used to put then was that whatever you put in ELSS to get tax
benefit.
benefits. That was the only thing I did. So nobody guided me. There was nothing called compounding. Nobody knew all this. So I wasted 6 years.
And you used to invest in stocks and all of that?
No, I didn't invest in stocks.
Just
also.
ELSS.
Just ELSS. Little. See, when I joined, my salary was 30,000 rupees per month. I have to pay rentals and have to, and living in Bombay was not easy. So I would hardly save. And then I got married immediately. So didn't had much money to save. Then I went to London. My income went up manifold. And I was saving a lot. But Shashank, you know what happened? 2 years of savings I blew up in last 6 months of my stay in London. So I stayed there for 3 years. In last 6 to 8 months, I blew up entirely in F&O.
Oh my God. F&O you were doing in London?
In London, sitting from London, I was doing kind of day trading and
Oh my
F&O.
God.
And I lost all my money, 50 lakhs in today. At that time,
Big
actually.
mistake at that time.
It was a huge mistake.
Yes.
I lost everything.
Yeah.
Again, we were at the 2008 crash that happened. I lost all my money then.
Oh my God.
Because I thought it's a temporary crash and it will come back. It just kept on going, and I kept on kind of leveraging and, in the sense, putting more money in, and I lost all.
Psychology wise, you would have like just want to stay away from.
So when I lost everything, then I said, look, I have nothing to put. So I said, let's stop this game. I can't play anymore. I lost all my savings. I received some bonus. I lost that also. Everything went in this thing, and then I didn't know what to do. Frankly, I had no idea. So what happened that point of time, I decided to come back to India, and then I wanted to start my own wealth management firm because when I was in UTI, I was at Juhu, which is where we are doing right now, and a lot of high net worth people would come with a bunch of papers, and they would tell me what to do, and they would come and they would shout because UTI had gone bankrupt in 2000, and people had lost some money then. So they would come and they would shout that it's a public sector company, no service and thing. So I don't know. I want to redeem all my money. The only first thing they would come and say, I want to redeem all my assets. I don't want to deal with you guys. I would have a look at those papers, calm them down, and then find out that these papers are worth 50 lakhs or a crore.
And they didn't know that
They didn't know anything about that. They are rich people, educated people living in this part of Mumbai, but I had no idea. So after an hour, I would counsel them and said, look, you have tons of money here. Your parents did whatever 20 years back, and now it is worth a crore. And their eyes would pop out.
in 2004.
In 2004. And then after the conversation, they would say, okay, what should I do with this? Then I would guide them to invest in a better place because it was old. These were all old schemes. And they would say, okay, I have another 25 lakhs more. Right? Because people people get a lot of money. So that's where I realized that I have the knack of connecting with people and explaining them these concepts in a simple way. So, but 2004, I was 24. Who would take me seriously if I start on my own? So I said, look, I need to get some experience. That's how I waited for 6-7 years, got some experience. 2009, I started So the reason why I want to start my own firm, Shashank, was that during 2004 to 2009, there was a lot of mis-selling that was happening.
In the mutual fund industry?
In the mutual fund industry, in the overall financial service industry. More than mutual funds, the mis-selling was happening in the insurance industry.
The ULIPs that were being
ULIPs were big hit that point of time. Even in mutual funds, you won't believe in 2004, 5, 6, when a new mutual fund was launched, the expenses would be 6% on day one.
Expense? You're talking about the expense ratio? Or
Yes, expense. So there was something called initial, when new fund offer was launched, there was called NFO expenses. So you can amortize up to 6%. 6% was the cost, and distributors who would sell those products, every time I'm investing your money, I would get 2.25% upfront.
2.25% on the NFO.
Upfront on the NFO or even normal fund.
Wow. That's like what IPOs are happening today. At that time, NFOs were.
NFOs were so in fact, that point of time, it was not called NFOs, it was called IPOs only, mutual fund IPOs. There were stocks IPOs and there were mutual fund IPOs. And people would confuse between the two very easily. People think just like in a stock IPO, 50 रुपए का 70 रुपए पे खुलता है, mutual fund में भी ऐसा ही खुलता है. But mutual fund IPO is nothing, right? Yeah. It's a collection of the securities there. But every time, you would remember 2004 to 2008, markets would go only mostly one way up. So suppose I made you buy a scheme with 10 rupees NFO. And this 10 rupees NFO was a big concept. कि 10 रुपए में सस्ता मिल रहा है. So when 2009, SEBI banned entry loads. So now your entire 100 rupees has to be invested. That time, many people thought it's the end of mutual fund industry. And around that point of time, I would say the industry was around maybe not more than 7-8 lakh crores. Okay. People thought it's game over now. So a lot of protest happened, But believe me, that's when we launched our own firm, 2009, post entry load. Entry load happened in August. We launched our firm in 2009.
What is the name of the firm?
Etica Wealth.
Etica Wealth.
Yes.
Okay.
So my belief was very simple. In 2010, August, I did my first SIP.
In 2010, August?
August.
Wow, okay.
Okay. 2009 end, we launched the firm. In 2010, August, I got my first SIP on the same logic that if I'm trying to convince you to do a 10,000 SIP, I should first do my own SIP and then try and tell you that, okay, look, this is how I'm making money now, and you will also make money if you do it for long term. So 2010, I chose one small cap fund, 5,000 rupees, and I chose one tax saving fund because up to
ELSS.
1 lakh or 1.5 lakh ELSS was there. So this was 2010, and I started this. And 2010 December, my daughter was born. So then I said, and by the way, this 2000, those two SIPs which I did was my first SIP, serious SIP that I did, and I'm happy to share with you. After 15 years, we just completed. We are in August 2025. Just completed 15 years. Shashank, I've not touched that SIP ever, which means I've never redeemed any money from that. I've never missed any installment in the last 15 years. I've not added any money there. And that is my first advice to all our viewers, is that because that was my first SIP of my life, right? Generally, you should never touch that SIP because that SIP would always have the longest tenure in your life because that's the first one. So don't ever add money into it. Don't withdraw into it. Never miss a single installment because that SIP will teach you everything which none of these other podcasts and whatever we may do will ever teach you because that's your own investment. Just to tell you what has happened with me, that 10,000 SIP which I did, today per annum you invest around 1,20,000. In 15 years into 1,20,000 is 18 lakhs. Yes. So today my 18 lakhs investments value, can you guess what would be in 15 years now?
15 years,
what could be the value around?
36 or 40?
36 or 40?
Yeah.
It is 86 lakhs.
86?
86 as on today.
Wow. Almost 6x in 15 years.
In 15 years. And
this is via SIP also.
This is via only SIP.
Only
which
SIP, not lump sum 6x.
No, which means the entire 18 lakhs didn't go on day one. The last 10,000 installment went this month in July, in last month, right? That's the power. And so one of the fund has given 18% compounded, the ELSS fund.
It's not bad.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So I want to just give you a context. What is the other best option for tax saving? What people do in India? 90% people do PPF, right? They swear by PPF. PPF is a guaranteed investment, but gives you 7.1% guaranteed return for the last many years. Yeah. My investment has given me 18%. Of course, it has gone through up, down, everything at the time of COVID after 10 years. So COVID happened in 2020. I started in 2010. March 2020, my return was 7% in that SIP.
Oh my God.
For the 10-year period.
That would have hurt.
Of course, right? But because, so, I also wanted to play this 15-year game with this SIP because I wanted my SIP returns of 15 years to compare with PPF because PPF is a 15-year product.
So it's like a proof of concept.
It's like a proof of concept. And the other fund which I chose, and lucky in hindsight, I chose a small cap fund. Yeah. Because I thought it will be long term. Today my 15-year CAGR is 21%, Shashank. On the small cap fund, up, down, everything. And you know what? I've not paid a single tax to the government of India till date because I've never sold. So that is the power of compounding which, we discussed. And you know what? So I start with 5,000 rupees every month in small cap fund and
5,000
this thing.
ELSS.
So just, you do want to know every installment that I did. So my first installment went in August 2010. What is the value of that 5,000 rupees today?
From August 2010 to now.
Just individual.
Just
that
5,000 if you've done like a one time.
5,000, yes.
Maybe 15, 20?
It is 11x, which is around 55,000.
60,000.
Yes, 55, 60. The first. And the second one is also now 60,000. Third one is also 60,000 or 58,000. Each installment is almost 11 to 12x in the 15-year period. So I want to now show the world that in 15 years, 5,000 has become almost 60,000. If I wait for another 15 years, 60,000 into, let's say, same returns comes, 12x from now becomes 7,20,000.
Correct.
So in 30 years,
5,000
becoming 7,20,000 per installment.
Wow.
Imagine after 30 years, you every installment that went every month, you are getting back 7 lakh per installment. More than 100, more than 140x of your initial corpus. This is the game of compounding I want to play.
So do you do SIPs even today? Like, do you still continue?
मैं आपको बताऊं जो ये आज wealth बनी है, whatever wealth I made today, 90% of the weight is that it would go because I did SIPs and I didn't interfere in my SIP
So
process.
even today you continue doing SIP?
I do a massive, almost all my money which I earn every month goes into SIPs.
So how much approx, like your monthly SIP on an average, ballpark also?
So I started with 10,000 rupees in August 2010 and kept on increasing for 50,000, 1 lakh kiya. Karte karte, in 2020 in COVID, this SIP figure was around 6-7 lakhs rupees
per month?
per month. Today it is 41 lakhs 20,000
41 lakh 20,000
20,000
per month.
per month.
Almost 4.5-5 crores a year.
Yes. And the entire wealth that I have made in the last 15 years, I tell very proudly that it was not because of my intelligence that I made this wealth. It was because of my sitting there.
Doing the boring.
Doing the boring. So मैं बताऊँ ये सिर्फ है ना ये सिर्फ if you can automate your investments, whether in stocks or in mutual funds, that's so finance में बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे inventions नहीं हुए हैं in the world. I always believe most of the inventions has happened for greed factor.
Yeah.
F&O is the best, right?
Agreed.
But SIP is one of the best invention in our century. कि इसने because automation हो गया ना तो मुझे ध्यान देना नहीं पड़ा. I never had to look. So today market is 80,000. A year back it was at 85,000. My 40 lakhs went at 85,000 also. Imagine if you have to do it every month on a manual basis.
I'll miss it for sure.
Miss it and you will stop it. अरे आज Trump का news आ रहा है. Let me wait for 2 days. The moment you start applying your mind in the process, you have lost it.
Fear of, obviously market will have its cycles.
Fear and greed will play cycle. The moment you start saying कि आज नहीं करता हूँ कल करता हूँ, you've lost the game.
Interesting. So you automated your investments and you're focusing on your job to increase your income.
Exactly.
And that you kept compounding it.
Yes.
In that
So I'm
flywheel.
coming to the 3 pillars. So first thing is I always focused on my job and my business to create active income. See, एक hack देता हूँ to all our viewers. Suppose they're 20 or 25 today. They have another 30-year career span at least. I always say them first 15 years focus on your active income. सबसे ज़्यादा जो wealth आएगी, वो आपकी income से आएगी पहले. First 15 years. Because your active income is right now here. The potential to earn good active income is here right now. धीरे धीरे जब when you age, your active income will start going down. Right?
That's when your passive should
That's when your passive should intersect and cross and go up. Why do people do stocks? Because in stocks, you think you can buy 3 or 4 good multi-baggers and you can double or triple your money in 2 years.
like 25 to 100.
Yeah, somebody may have made money in last year in PSU or defense and they think ये party हमेशा चलती रहती है.
Correct.
They don't realize जितना जल्दी ऊपर जाता है. In fact, I always tell that पैसा ऊपर जो जाता है वो stairs से जाता है और जब नीचे आता तो elevator से आता है. Right? तो concentration will create wealth if you're in the right company at the right time. But by any reason, if you've created wealth, then I would say if you want to preserve it, diversification is the best strategy. And that is why I put all my money in mutual funds. For me, A, it creates wealth, and secondly, it preserves wealth also.
And automates everything.
It automates everything. So today, if you ask me, all my wealth is in mutual funds. All my wealth. And for last 15 years, this is the only thing I've done. I've never done fixed deposits, never did PPF. I don't have anything in crypto. I don't do direct stocks. Though I'm a CFA charter holder, right? I did MBA finance. I'm in stock markets.
Don't you get tempted though?
Not really.
Like Bitcoin?
नहीं. So देखो वो 2007-8 का fall में मैंने सब सीख लिया कि fast money नहीं बन सकता है. And in hindsight, I always tell people that was the cheapest lesson I learned in 2007. 50 lakhs दिया ना tuition fee. तो उस वक्त महंगा लगा, but आज वो बहुत सस्ता है.
Yeah. So let's take an example.
Yes.
Okay, I want to learn because you've been doing this for so many years.
Correct.
Let us take few examples.
Yes.
Abhi, let's look at a person who has just started his first job.
Yeah.
26, 27-year-old guy or girl, doesn't
Correct.
matter. Can save around 40 to 50,000 rupees a month.
Yes.
And now if I had to make an investment strategy for him on mutual funds.
Correct.
For long term, he's only 26, 27.
Yes.
Lot of things are left to do.
Absolutely.
So, कैसा करेगा इसका?
So देखो सबसे पहले 26, 27 में I'm assuming he's not married right now. Okay. So बहुत लोगों के लिए क्या होता है? The parents are now approaching retirement. And if the parents are dependent on them for some reason, okay, then the first thing they should is they should have a term insurance cover. On day one, the day you get a job, you have a income slip. Suppose your income is 10 lakhs. You said what 50,000 they have savings. तो 6 लाख तो savings है. तो कम से कम उनका income 10-12 लाख होएगा. 12 लाख में you can easily get 1 crore rupees of term insurance cover. That's the first thing I tell them, because if something were to happen to you tomorrow, your parents get that 1 crore or 2 crore and they can, this is done. And it costs you hardly 10,000 rupees per annum. So एक वो ले लो, एक पहले health insurance भी ले लो, which again cost you very little. 10 lakhs rupees का health insurance ले लो, it will cost you another 10,000 rupees per annum. तो 20,000 रुपया देने के बाद you have everything to invest. Now 50,000 suppose is your monthly savings. If I were to rewind myself, go back, and so I would start entire 50,000 SIP. उसमें से मैं क्या करूँगा, 10,000 SIP करूँगा emergency funds के लिए. Which again many people don't know. For two reasons, I'll do emergency funds. 10,000 rupees का emergency fund मैं करूँगा per month, which is liquid fund. Emergency
so where
fund
would you put emergency fund?
So the money would go in liquid mutual funds.
Liquid mutual funds.
Yes.
Okay.
So many people again don't understand. In mutual funds there are debt funds, liquid funds or ultra short-term debt funds, which give you 7% kind of return, 6 to 7% yearly. But believe, you can take out in a week's time, you can take out in 10 days time. And one thing we must remember in mutual fund, there's nothing called lock-in.
Correct.
In mutual funds, you can withdraw your entire wealth in one day.
Except the ELSS.
Except ELSS, but अब वो खत्म ही हो गया. That category is finished now. Because new tax regime has come, people have stopped investing in ELSS. So there's no other category where there's lock-in. So if I were to do 50,000 में से 10,000, I'll put in emergency funds. हर महीने जाने दो. Let me earn 7% only in that fund. Okay? The other option they can do, if they don't want to do liquid fund also, liquid fund will give you 7%. There's another category called equity savings fund.
Equity savings fund.
Which very few people in the industry are aware.
Okay.
So liquid fund is a good comparison to FDs, I say. So today all my reserves money I have in a mix of ultra short-term fund, which is earning me 7%. And by the way, it beats 95% of the FDs. Because no FD would give you 7% return for a period of 2 months, 3 months. सब लोग 1 साल मिनिमम करना पड़ेगा. और आप बीच में निकालते हो तो पेनल्टी भी लगता है. Here there is no penalty. So suppose I have done 10 lakhs in a liquid fund or ultra short fund. I need 1 lakh, I can withdraw 1 lakh. Baki 9 lakh is earning me 7%.
And what is the equity savings fund?
So I'm coming to that. So this will give you 6 to 7% return. But mind you, one thing you have to remember in this last tax regime, 1 साल पहले, any capital gain that you make in liquid fund debt category is added to your income.
On my income tax
on your
slab.
Income tax slab. So if you're in 30% tax slab, so you paid 30%. So it is similar to like bank FDs या savings bank. Bank FD में भी 7% बनाते हो, interest is added to your income. ये capital gain will be added to your income. So this becomes little tax inefficient, right? That's why I would like to put maybe 2 months of my kharcha in liquid fund, ज़्यादा नहीं. The other category which I shared with you is called equity savings fund. It's very interesting. इसमें equity is hardly 10 to 15% the real equity. 85% remaining is a mix of debt and arbitrage, but gives you very stable returns. This 15% is a little kicker. So 6% generally you make, 6 to 7% you make in a bond portfolio. You make another 2-3% in this 15% kicker. Your average return comes around 8% in equity savings fund. So it's definitely, but here your time horizon should be at least 12 months. You know why? Because after 12 months, it becomes long-term capital gain also.
Oh, because of the equity component.
Because of the equity.
That's very smart.
That's really smart. So good chunk of my money is in equity savings fund. And after 1 year, I'll be paying 12.5% capital gain tax rather than 30% in the debt fund which I'm paying. Or if I were to withdraw this in short term also, I would have to pay 20%. So here I'm paying 12.5%. My money earns me anywhere from 8 to 10% return. If markets are doing well, then equity component gives me high return. So the returns can come between 8 to 10% also.
But my risk is also very adjusted.
Very, very less. Hardly 15% naked exposure of your portfolio in equity. And that too large cap equities. It doesn't go into small and mid cap.
I don't think a lot of people know this.
Very few people know. Very few people. In fact, you would have known a fund manager. There is Mr. Naren, S. Naren.
Yes. The ICICI Bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said in many seminars that I don't do liquid funds. I put almost all my emergency money in equity savings funds. Right? Because I know he has been putting a lot of money in equity savings fund for years. तो जो आज डाला है, जो आज निकालना है, तो वो 4 साल पहले जो डाला था, तो वो निकालेगा तो लॉन्ग टर्म ही है.
लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल
और उस पर वैसे भी 8-9-10% बनाया है. और आज मैं जो डालूंगा उसको 3 साल बाद निकालूंगा kind of thing. तो that's why he always end up paying smart and long-term capital gain tax.
So he's optimizing tax and getting the liquid fund
and
benefit.
better returns, yes, and better returns through equity. This thing. So this is I hardly do liquid funds. I do equity savings fund. So I've also started doing that, and it has worked well for me.
So let's say 10,000 has gone into equity savings funds instead of liquid funds.
Yes.
So what does the remaining?
So the remaining, if you're a first-time investor, see there are a lot of people who will be first-time.
This is assume first time. Just got his first salary and he's just saving. Yeah.
तो एक 10,000 आपने कर दिया. Then 10,000 I would say go in a hybrid fund.
Hybrid fund.
Yes.
Okay. How does this work?
Yeah. So hybrid fund में क्या होता है? Your money is so this equity savings fund is also kind of hybrid fund because there is equity, there is this thing. So in hybrid funds you have a mix of equity and debt. Some are conservative hybrid funds, some are moderate hybrid funds, some are aggressive hybrid funds.
I've heard about this. Yes.
Right? Conservative में equity component may be around 25-30%. Moderate में it is 50%. Aggressive hybrid fund 65%. So you can choose any of them. Maybe moderate. So there's a fund category called Balance Advantage Fund.
I saw ICICI का वो ad आता रहता है वो.
Balance Advantage Fund का, correct? That's a good fund category for people who don't want to track it. तो जब equity expensive होता है, they bring down the equity levels.
They invest in debt.
They invest more in debt. जब equity cheap होता है, they up the equity. So you don't have to do the rebalancing. Fund does it. And in the last 20 years, it has given 12-14% kind of return. It has actually beaten Nifty, but with half the volatility of Nifty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's very interesting.
That's very interesting. So another 10,000, let's say, can go there.
And this is also categorized as an equity fund? Hybrid
This
fund?
is also categorized as an equity taxation
I don't
fund.
pay it in my income tax.
Precisely.
Only
you pay
on long
only
term.
12.5% long term capital gain.
Wow.
तो एक तो ये ऑप्शन है आपके पास. इसी में अगर आपको और थोड़ा गोल्ड और सिल्वर भी ऐड करना है, देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड मल्टी एसेट फंड आल्सो.
Multi asset
इसी
fund.
कैटेगरी में हाइब्रिड काइंड ऑफ थिंग. सो यू हैव 4 एसेट क्लासेस नाउ. इक्विटी, डेट, सिल्वर, गोल्ड और इंटरनेशनल इक्विटी आल्सो. सब मिला के मल्टी एसेट हो गया.
So this is also good for people at the later age of their life.
Not
also,
just
right?
later age, there are a lot of people who are watching our podcast and have a lot of money in the FDs.
हाँ तो
Right?
rather
और
you
FDs में अब interest rates are start going down. Every rate cut, interest rates will be going down. Now it is 7%. Today in our country we are paying home loan at 7.5-8% right now. So cheap, and it is only going to become cheaper because inflation is really low. So all the senior citizens who are stuck with this 6-7% return, they are not very happy. For them, this multi-asset or this BAF can be a very good replacement for FD if they can earn 2% higher. So if FDs are giving 7.5, 8. If they are able to earn 9 or 10, 11%, it's class. It's amazing.
And they anyway have time because FD you have
And
to
they
lock
have
in
time.
yourself for like 1 year.
Yes, and they can do SWP also, which we'll again discuss.
We'll talk about that.
Yes. So another 10,000 can go into this category.
Multi-asset or equity?
Yes.
Okay.
हो गया?
हाँ.
20 हो गया?
20 हो गया.
Let's talk about the next 10,000. Now this 10,000 they should go put in a first diversified equity fund. And I would recommend them that they can try an index fund because they've never done it,
Okay.
equity. So index fund can be a very good start.
So Nifty 50 or which?
So Nifty 50 is a good fund because they've never tried. I would say start with the safer fund.
Yeah.
Nifty 50 invest in the top largest 50 companies of India.
Simple. Yes.
So if index earns 14%, you will earn 14%.
Correct.
है ना? So
Correct.
you don't have to apply your mind kind of thing.
Yes.
So 10% you are basically starting to experience compounding through this fund.
Got it.
तो
Got it.
10% वहाँ हो गया.
So 30% हो गया.
30%
30,000 हो गया.
30,000 हो गया. Then 10% I would say you should try and put in an international fund. Okay. Generally, if you're doing SIP, you can put in S&P 500, which is US ka fund. The reason why I'm saying this, because today if you take the world का market cap, US is 65% of world market cap. So मैंने आपको निफ्टी 50 इंडिया का is the largest segment. तो US is the large cap of the world market.
Plus uncorrelated to each other.
Plus uncorrelated to each other. You have Google. Why I'm saying you should have exposure because all the products that you consume today, whether Instagram or Google or AI, is all revenues are basically shipping back to US. Right? Any products that you're buying.
Okay. And इसमें कौन सा फंड है इंडिया में?
इसमें इंडिया में सब इंडेक्स फंड्स है, सब बहुत सारे. मोतीलाल ओसवाल का नेस्डेक है, ये S&P 500 फंड है. तो बहुत सारे फंड हाउसेस के S&P 500 इंडेक्स फंड्स हैं. तो आपको वो दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. जो यूएस का 500 बेस्ट कंपनीज है आपने डाल दिया.
Yes.
इंडिया का जो बेस्ट 50 कंपनीज है डाल दिया.
हाइब्रिड भी डाल दिया.
हाइब्रिड डाल दिया तो आपको वो हो गया. तो यू आर गेटिंग अ प्रॉपर डाइवर्सिफिकेशन. तो 10% और उसमें फ़ायदा क्या होता है, डॉलर में है वो. तो अगर इंडिया का करेंसी डॉलर डिप्रिशिएट होता है तो every year you benefit 2% from that
currency
also.
appreciation also.
Yes, in USD.
Okay. And what about the last 10,000 now?
Yes.
for
So
this?
that brings the last 10,000. That's your play money.
Okay. This would go into slightly aggressive assets.
Yes.
Okay.
This should go into slightly aggressive. This you should there is a core portfolio and tactical portfolio. Correct. So the 80% was your core portfolio. Correct. Here you don't want to go wrong. 20% you know ki it's my masti ka money kind of thing. Even if I go wrong, and one good thing with mutual fund is your capital will never ever become zero.
So it'll only stagnate or go up slowly.
Yes, stagnate or may 100 rupees may come to 90 or 80. 100 will never come to zero like in stocks. तो ये प्ले मनी करो. इसमें आप contra bets लो, things which have not worked. Here you can ask your colleagues or friends or whosoever
Okay.
कि
learning money,
aggressive money, because see at 25 you will have itch. आपको एक itch रहेगा कि मैं थोड़ा तो गाड़ी fast चलाऊं, because I remember when I was 17, 18, my dad would have scooter and I didn't have license. You would want to ride a scooter. You are not happy riding a cycle. At 13, 14, you wanted to ride a cycle much ahead of your time. So at 26, 27, you'll have an itch कि नहीं थोड़ा तो ये सब थोड़े slow घोड़े हैं.
Yeah.
But this is little kicker kind of thing. So there you can go with a sector fund, thematic fund. Now again, I have 2 hacks for thematic funds.
Yeah, because this is what I wanted to ask you also. कि
correct.
क्या है मतलब बहुत सारा thematic funds आ रहा है, defense fund, this fund. ऐसा लगता है anything you look tomorrow उसका fund आ जाता है thematic. So but again, is it like a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Because
very
themes
good
are
question.
usually a cycle, right? So
Yes.
what to do here?
So very good question. So the way I look at it, I'm a very contra investor. What is the definition of contra investor? A theme, sector, country, any style of investment that has not worked in the recent past, like 1, 3, 5, 7 years, has done very badly. I'll start going very aggressive in that one.
Any sector that's not performed well?
Any sector, any style. Okay. Mutual fund managers has the styles. Somebody will only invest in quality stocks. Somebody will only invest in high growth stocks. Somebody will invest in value stocks. है ना? Somebody will invest in special situation turnaround की, right? तो सबका एक वो होता है, mindset होता है. तो one thing I've always realized, 2 things you have to understand whether you're doing direct stocks or mutual funds. Everything in markets are cyclical. Everything.
Yes. Time and time proven again.
Everything is cyclical. Number 1. Number 2, markets will always be volatile. If markets are not volatile, you're in the wrong market. You will never make money in that market. I can bet you. You will make money only when the markets are volatile. Right? Just like you don't become a great captain in calm waters. You become great captain right in the middle of the sea when you actually face the storm. So only if there is volatility in the market, you have your opportunity to buy low and then sell high. If there are flat markets, like in the last 1 year, September to September, Nifty is flat. Market's been very range bound. And if you see the volatility, ये कुछ इसमें पैसा नहीं बनेगा. Someone like me don't like this market. I want action. Like for me, COVID was the best market. You had the best opportunity. So you make money only by volatility. My guru Nick Murray says, if you suppress volatility, you're suppressing your returns.
Got it. So you're saying thematic funds ke liye you play something that has been out of the theme and not something that is in the theme, right?
No, that's a danger thing you are getting into. If you are going into a theme which in last 1 year has given 100% return.
Which is what everyone does.
Yeah, 100% return, you're 200% return in last one, then you are the bakra. You are the one who will actually give those returns to the people.
Peak pe aake.
I do the reverse and I've done multiple times in the past. So in 2020, I started putting my money in PSU fund.
So right now, what would you say is like a...
Unfortunately, Shashank, right now, there is hardly any value in Indian markets right now.
Everything's peaking.
Everything is peaking. The only thing where I find little more value, of course, it's not a recommendation.
Of course not, yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
Sector you tell. Just a sector.
I am putting a decent money of mine in banking and financial services space. Because last 4 years, that has given a negative return or low returns.
I think... Yeah, one of the subsectors I know is very less.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll show you a chart. That's a very good hack for our viewers to try and do this for themselves also. That how do they find the beaten down sectors?
You have like a matrix or something?
I have like a matrix.
Okay. Can you share that with us?
I will share. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay.
It helps me a lot in all my decision making. So I see in that metric last 5 years, BFSI has not given any returns. And that's a long period. Right now, many many smart people who I talk to, they give me very convincing reason that why you should not put in this because this is over now. But somehow my gut feeling tells me that
never
sectors
over.
never die,
never
right? It
over.
comes back.
Yeah.
आज जब वो खराब आना तो all bad news will justify the fall.
Correct.
But tomorrow, but see, I'm not thinking कि वो आज 100 का 10 आ गया तो वापस वो 100 जाएगा. All I'm betting is 100 का आज वो 10 आ गया, वो 10 भी डिजर्व नहीं, मतलब उसका रियल वैल्यू 50 है, बट मार्केट ने उसको इतना डिप्रेस करके 10 का भाव दिया है. तो 10 का 50 भी आएगा ना, तो आई वुड हैव मेड लॉट ऑफ मनी.
Correct.
I'm not waiting कि 10 का वो 100 जाएगा वापस.
Correct.
Right? I'm happy in cashing at 50 and I'll make 5x return.
Got it.
The way I'm doing this is in China right now. In China, so you remember China, all tech companies in China were actually got an ultimatum from the Chinese government कि रातों रात you close tech companies, you know, you have to close down, you can't make so many profits. So the stock prices crashed by 90%. Alibaba IPO was cancelled. So it was such deep pessimism. The index hit the tech 30 index of China hit a high of 11,000 in November 21. ठीक है? Exactly 1 year later in November 22, the price was 5,500 index.
From 11,000.
From 11,000.
down.
50% down. That's when a fund was launched in India at 10 rupees NAV. I said 55% index down hai. That's a good level to entry.
Rebound
And these
over
are
it.
top 30 tech companies of China. Alibaba, Baidu. And believe me, these 30 companies are far larger than any Indian IT company you can ever imagine, right? So these companies will never become bankrupt. And one more thing you have to understand is these IT companies are cash rich. They're not property companies ki leverage hai, they will become zero. I said, let's try. So I put 20 lakhs in November 22. So imagine if you had also put in, I convince you, कि Shashank, you also put 20 lakh. I put 20 lakh, you put 20 lakh, NAV was 10 rupees, index was 5,500. Less than a year from there, markets crashed by another 45%.
From 5,500 went down to almost 2,500.
Exactly. So your 10 rupees NAV came to 5.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be very sad.
20 lakhs का आपका 11 lakh हो गया था. Now I'm coming to you and I'm saying, Shashank, it looks very interesting right now. Let's double down on this.
I would not.
You wouldn't do, right?
I would be scared, yeah.
Yeah. You're right. 99% people will not do it. I was bold enough. I won't say, and bold and lucky in the hindsight that I did that. I doubled down I put 40 lakhs at 5.5 rupees NAV. Okay. So 40 plus 20, 60 मैंने डाला है. Today, fast forward today, the NAV is around 12 rupees right now. तो जो पहले वाला 10 रुपये में मैंने 20 lakh डाला, that is hardly showing 5% CAGR. Not much improvement. But the double down which I did at 40 lakhs at 6 rupees, 5.5, that is showing me 30%. So my overall CAGR on this investment is showing 22 or 23% CAGR for the last 3 years. So what I'm trying to tell you is that in volatility in bottom, when you put a lot more money, that's the money which is going to show you the highest return. That's the money which is going to show you the earliest results.
Not the one that's on the top.
Not the one at the top. So two things, the money which I put in COVID, March 2020, I put in almost 1 crore rupees in small cap fund. That money gave me the highest returns, and that money gave me the fastest returns as well. Because from bottom you bounce back very yeah. So that's the learning I have by putting. So I see sectors or themes which has not done well in the 3-5 years period, and I keep on putting. So another good thing I'll tell you, another good hack. So I do an SIP to begin with. तो SIP में क्या करते हो? Every month you can see your NAV is going at this thing. So मैं NAV में हर NAV डाल रहा हूँ, and then I see market और drop होके और 10-15% sudden drop हुआ है. That gives me triggers to enter Lumpsum. See क्या होता है? Unless you have invested your own money, you won't track as active as possible. Because आपने डाला नहीं है ना, so you won't have that much interest. The moment you put in your hard-earned money and it is going down,
you will watch it.
You will watch it more. Then my hack tells me कि boss अगर ये 20, so मैंने चाइना में बहुत टाइम से SIP कर रहा हूँ. The moment I see that in last 2 months ये NAV से 20% sudden drop हो गया, then actually that's a time to go aggressive.
That piques your interest also.
That's the time to go lump sum.
Got it.
Right? That's the indication you're getting कि boss this is so cheap now. So this is how I make money in thematic. But so I always believe in thematic, how do you make money? Just imagine markets are like pendulums. Good cycle, bad cycle. So I would only invest if the pendulum is 90% to the left. बॉटम एकदम skewed है, super panic around you, no hope, nobody is putting money, nobody is buying what you are saying. That's when you feel not like investing in that asset class. That's the best time to invest in asset class. So I've done that. Of course, you are skeptical that time, you're scared, but that's actually the time you'll make a lot of money. So I wait, and I just don't wait. I see the number, data points also. 5 years, बहुत खराब है, hardly any money is coming in that. I'll go aggressive and I'll try to load it up. हो सकता है मैंने डाला उसके बाद और 50% टूट गया, right? See, 100 से 10 आना is 90% fall. 90 का 5 आना is another 50% fall from 10 rupees,
Yeah.
right? ओवरऑल तो 95% फॉल हुआ है, बट जिसने 10 रुपए में डाला है उसका 50% फॉल हुआ है वहां से,
करेक्ट,
राइट? इट्स हाफ.
करेक्ट.
बट अगर वो 5 आ गया ना, एंड इट्स अ सेक्टर, आई वुड यूजुअली गो डबल ट्रिपल डाउन on those things. And then the other good thing which I had, which many others may not have, is patience, unlimited patience.
Yeah, that I think most of us don't have.
Yes. तो फिर then फिर you lose that game because 2 साल में पैसा नहीं बना. It starts pinching
Doubt,
you.
conviction,
conviction सब कुछ. मैं 5 साल भी वेट करने को तैयार हूँ.
Correct.
मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता because I don't have to answer on this money to anybody. I never do this for my investors. ये जो strategies मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, मैं किसी इन्वेस्टर के लिए नहीं करता हूँ because I'm answerable to their money. तो थोड़ा रिस्की है. मैं ये चाइना फंड, ये PSU फंड कभी नहीं दूंगा, राइट? तो मैं इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए क्या सजेस्ट करता हूँ फिर? देखो, ये जब एक्सट्रीम में ऐसा 90% का आता ना, देन आई गो इन इंडिविजुअल सेक्टर्स एंड थीम्स एंड पुट माई मनी. बट जहाँ ये 90% तक फॉल आया ही नहीं है, थोड़ा चीप लग रहा है, सस्ता लग रहा है, बट आई कांट पुट लॉट ऑफ माई मनी, दैट इज व्हेन आई गो थीमेटिक फंड ऑफ फंड. दिस इज अ ग्रेट FOF. तो उसमें क्या होता है, फ्यू फंड हाउसेज हैज दिस प्रोडक्ट. द फंड मैनेजर takes the call कि कौन सा सेक्टर चीप है, किस में डालना है. So they would put your money in 3 or 4 sectors maximum, and they have underlying funds within their AMC. So जैसे एक कोई भी AMC का IT फंड भी है, फार्मा फंड भी है.
So they invest in the fund of their undervalued funds.
And they take a call कि कौन सा सेक्टर चीप है. So suppose अभी फार्मा और बैंकिंग चीप है और IT चीप है.
So they buy their own pharma and IT fund.
Exactly. So 25% फार्मा, 30% IT वो ले लिया. And when any of these sectors play out, they would shift like a dynamic. But the good thing is when they shift, you have not redeemed money, you don't pay any tax. And one thing which people need to understand, unlike a normal equity fund, here 2 साल के बाद आपका 12.5% capital gain tax लगेगा, not 1 year. In any other equity fund, you withdraw after 1 year, you get long-term capital gain. In fund of funds, it's 2-year period. So anyway, when you're getting into this fund, you go for a 2-year horizon, otherwise you'll pay 20% short-term capital gains tax kind of thing. So good money, good amount of my money is in thematic fund of fund also, and good amount of my money is in individual sector funds also. So another hack I'm giving you here, if in these thematic fund of funds you are seeing a very high bet on one sector, and it is kind of corroborating with your data, which means some other guy, some other smart person is also thinking on those lines. Then you load up. That's a time to go more aggressive on the individual sector fund also. Otherwise, if it is only a small amount, then it's not high conviction bet yet.
Correct.
So only when you have a very high conviction bet is when you go in a specific sector or a thematic fund.
Interesting. So I want to take one more example.
Yes.
Because this is something that, let's say, even I would want to do, right? Which is house buying, which is a very common philosophy in India.
Correct.
So let's say there's a person who's making 1 lakh savings.
Correct.
Okay. Now I want to buy a house after 10 years or maybe 15 years.
Yes.
How do I plan a house buying?
So
10-15
let's why not continue with a 26-year-old person example, because he has 50,000 का, तो हमने उसका planning कर दिया.
अभी वो 1 लाख पे आ गया.
हाँ, तो एक बार just recap कर लेते हैं वो 50,000 का, so that हाँ.
So one is equity savings fund of 10,000 rupees.
Yes.
Then we have the hybrid fund of 10,000.
इसमें भी I just want to give you another hack also. 10,000 ka you have been doing equity savings fund or liquid fund for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. In 3 years time, you may have built a substantial fund also. So 2 things you should use this money for. One is when you have an emergency at house, office, you need this money. You don't have to break any of your other assets, right? That's one. The other thing is, suppose you don't have any emergency at home, but markets crash हो गए हैं, right? तो आपका SIP तो जा ही रहा है normal, that will go. But if markets have crashed by 25-30%, so just again giving you last 1 year. Last 1 year, from September to this time, or how much has market corrected maximum? Nifty 500, it is 18%. Nifty 50 is corrected by 15%. Nifty 500 is corrected by 18-19%. Small cap is corrected 24% kind of thing. तो आपका SIP जाने दो, बट अगर मार्केट 15% से ज़्यादा करेक्ट हुए हैं, यू हैड दिस reservoir of equity savings fund, and if you don't need this money, why don't you buy additional lump sum? Because otherwise और तो पैसा आपके पास आने वाला नहीं है apart from the SIP that you're doing. So this is money which you can buy markets at a cheaper price, play to go lump sum. So 10,000 वो हो गया.
Hybrid was 10,000.
हाँ.
And then you had international fund 10,000.
Index fund, India का index fund 10,000.
And Nifty 50 10,000. And then you said the last one would be contra, which would be sector or thematic.
Sector thematic
जिसमें आपने वो
जिसमें आपने किया play money.
Play money.
तो अगर ये 5 का 10,000 है, weighted average आप लेते हो, you end up making 12 to 15% return on the overall portfolio.
Correct, with very good risk balance.
With very good
diversification.
You've achieved very good level of diversification. The only thing you should be doing is 5 साल पहले तक ये SIPs बंद मत करना. To see the potential true results of these, because see, unless how do you make sense of SIP unless you've gone through a full cycle, a full up and down cycle, is then an SIP will give you the most optimal returns.
Got it. So now let's assume this same 27-year-old has now become 32, 33.
Yes,
अभी 1 लाख का सेविंग्स हो रहा है, शादी वादी हो गया,
हाँ.
बट उसको अभी घर खरीदना है 10 साल में.
Correct.
तो now how does he play this game now?
Good question.
He's been doing this 10,000, 50,000 he's been doing.
He's been doing this, right? So ये जो कर रहा है अभी उसमें भी ये 5 साल में ये भी अच्छा कॉर्पस बन गया होगा. So generally we recommend to most investors कि ये 5 फंड्स आपके पास है ना, तो आपको इससे ज़्यादा डाइवर्सिफिकेशन करने का जरूरत नहीं है. One problem which I have seen is people actually start making zoo out of their portfolio.
I have seen that also. They make mutual fund का भी एक mutual fund basket होता है.
बिल्कुल. तो I've seen 30 funds, 25 funds. There was a client who we saw, he had 300 plus funds in his portfolio. 300.
Oh my God.
मतलब आप डायरेक्टरी से शुरू करो, A, B, C, D, mutual fund, आदित्य बिरला, Axis से start करो and all the way till Zerodha.
Pretty much almost everything.
Everything is on. Okay. So that's not, it's difficult to manage. So मैंने आपको जो 5 फंड बताए, more than enough from diversification. चाहे आपके पास 50,000 का SIP करना है, चाहे 500 करोड़ रुपया भी आपके पास है, you can put in these 5.
Because this is quite diversified.
This is quite diversified. You technically bought the world, US and सब मिला के, right? तो चाहे वो 1 लाख का भी आपका SIP करना है ना, you reinvest in those things only.
And then the house buying जब
should
आएगा,
happen. जब आएगा ना, तो आप जिस फंड में जैसा बकेट हुआ है, see after 10 years, depending on what the market levels are, you can choose and pick withdraw from any category you want, right? अगर market बहुत ज़्यादा ऊपर है, buy from equity category because that's the right time to book profits and buy house. Markets बहुत खराब और आपको घर सस्ता मिल रहा है, अच्छा मिल रहा है, then you have other categories like multi-asset and जहाँ से आप पैसा निकाल सकते.
So sir, I have one question now on EMI. So let's take an example of myself. I have a outstanding EMI, home loan EMI of 42 lakhs. My tenure is approximately 27 years and the rate of interest is 7.9. Now, if I want to use mutual funds to play this game in a way to efficiently do this interest, how do I do this?
Okay. So first of all, let me ask you, Shashank, how old are you right now?
I am 33.
33. When did you buy this house?
3 years ago.
3 years. So 30?
Yeah.
Which is what most of India would do.
Yeah.
But my suggestion, I'm just a personal suggestion to all our viewers. Don't buy a house at 30.
So this is investment. I'm staying on rent only. This is investment के हिसाब से.
घर खरीदा
investment.
और रेंट पे लगा दिया.
अभी तक आया नहीं है रेंट पे. अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन
है. तब तो मैं और आपको मना करूंगा कि आप कभी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए घर ना खरीदें.
Okay.
कभी नहीं खरीदें.
Correct.
Because it's not a very wise long-term investment.
Yeah, I wanted to diversify, but now you told me so many different ways which I didn't know. Yeah.
See, luckily through this podcast, I'm able to tell my own story. Luckily, that story has worked wonderfully well in hindsight. It may not have worked for others, but it has worked. So all I'm trying to share is from my own story. Yeah. And believe me, in the last 15 years, I've been lucky to write the India growth story. Earning 18%. Generally, as I said, mutual fund में 18% is a very high figure to earn. Right? It's bit of brain, luck, सब कुछ बोल दो, right strategy, discipline. And I always tell people that markets do not give you the returns that you want. Markets will give you the returns that you deserve. So you have to deserve 18% और उसके लिए आपको ये जो बैठना है 15 साल चुपचाप करना, तो वो करना पड़ता है, राइट? वो ईजी नहीं आता है. बट अगर आप 12 to 15% भी कंपाउंडिंग बनाते हो, दैट्स मैसिव, जो प्रॉपर्टी में फ्लैट्स में जनरली नहीं आएंगे, राइट? बट चलो, चूंकि आपने कर लिया है, अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि कैसे इसको बेहतरीन इन्वेस्टमेंट बनाया जाए, राइट? सो सपोज आपका 42 lakhs का EMI लोन आउटस्टैंडिंग है, 7.9% यू आर पेइंग राइट नाउ, एंड 27 years का टेन्योर बाकी है अभी, तो 32,000 का लगभग आपका EMI जा रहा है.
Approximately, yes. Correct.
तो ऐसा लोगों को बहुत लगता है. और जस्ट मैंने आपका ब्रेकअप किया है, अगले 27 साल में यू वुड हैव पेड प्रिंसिपल रीपेमेंट ऑफ प्रिंसिपल जो आउटस्टैंडिंग ऑफ 42 lakhs है, उस पे यू वुड हैव पेड एन इंटरेस्ट ऑफ 60 lakhs एडिशनल.
16.
60.
60. Oh my.
60 lakhs you would have paid to the bank
Got
over a next 27-year period.
Got it.
तो आपने टोटल पे कितना किया? 1 करोड़ 1 लाख का पेमेंट किया बैंक को.
Correct.
इट पिंचेस यू लाइक एनीथिंग.
Yes.
राइट, कि मैंने लोन तो लिया इतना का, बट इंटरेस्ट तो डबल से ज्यादा, तो घर का कॉस्ट तो डबल हो गया आपका.
Correct.
ऑल आई एम सेइंग यू टुडे कि 32,000 जो आप कर रहे हो, आप एक 5,000 रुपए का SIP और करो, 4,704 रुपीज का एडिशनल SIP, विच आई एम श्योर यू कैन डू.
I was doing prepayment of 5,000. So you're saying don't do prepayment of 5,000.
don't do.
Okay.
सो आप 5,000 का पर मंथ कर रहे थे प्रीपेमेंट.
Yeah.
आई एम गिविंग यू नाइस हैक.
Yeah.
आप 4,704 का SIP करो,
4. Okay.
जस्ट दिस अमाउंट. 12% का अगर रिटर्न आएगा ना,
Correct.
इट विल टेक केयर ऑफ योर एंटायर इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट जो आपने इतना साल किया है. द इंटरेस्ट विल बिकम फ्री फ्रॉम दिस SIP इटसेल्फ. 4,705 का SIP फॉर 27 years
We'll make it completely free.
विल मेक इट कम्प्लीटली फ्री. जो आपने बैंक को दिया वो वापस आपको रिकवर करके आपके पास कॉर्पस बन जाएगा. सो दिस इज समथिंग कॉल्ड रिकवरिंग योर EMI थ्रू SIP. सो 32,000 एक जगह करो और एक 4,700 करो. इट विल रिकवर ऑल द EMI पार्ट दैट यू हैव गिवन विल कम बैक टू यू.
And can I use the same thing that you mentioned before, which is equity savings, hybrid, वो वाला
नहीं, इस 4,700 को पुट इन द हाईएस्ट एग्रेसिव वाला पार्ट,
small cap, mid
स्मॉल
cap
कैप में
types.
डाल दो आप.
Because anyway 27 years
27 साल
रखना
का
है.
पीरियड है ना, तो 27 पूरा का पूरा आप डाल दो. और मैंने तो फिर भी 12% रिटर्न पकड़ा है. आई होप कि आराम से स्मॉल कैप इन द लॉन्ग टर्म
15 तो देना चाहिए.
हाँ, बट 12 आ
Worst case
जाता है
पकड़ के.
तो भी आपका काम हो जाता है. सो दिस विल यू नो, सो इफ यू डू एन SIP of 4,000, right, you will recover the full amount of EMI paid by you, not just the interest part. Full amount of EMI which is 32,000 for the next 27 years आपका पूरा फ्री हो गया.
My God. Just on 4,700.
सो हर साल आपने हर महीना बैंक को 32,000 दिया 27 साल तक. जब टेन्योर खत्म होगा 27 साल, मैं आपको पूरा पूरा वापस लमसम दे दूंगा.
My God. Okay. Wow. Wow. So थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा कर देता हूँ because tax भी बढ़ना
थोड़ा
पड़ेगा.
ही एक्स्ट्रा है ना, मतलब 4,700 रुपए.
हाँ.
ये किसी के लिए भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं होएगा.
100%.
सो लमसम में लम्स इन माई ओपिनियन, देखो, यू आर इन पार्टिसिपेट इन इंडिया ग्रोथ स्टोरी. इंडिया ग्रोथ स्टोरी में क्या होता है, यू बिलीव कि इंडिया विल डू वेल इन द नेक्स्ट 10, 15, 20 years. वी ऑल हैव बिलीव, दैट्स व्हाई ऑल आवर मनी इज देयर. Just to give you a context, last 45 years of Bombay Stock Exchange, right? Out of 45 times, 36 times markets have closed positively in that calendar year.
36 times.
36. 9 बार ही ऐसा हुआ है कि आपने जनवरी में जो पैसा डाला, दिसंबर में वो पैसा कम है उससे. Only 9 times. So which means out of 45 times, 1:4 का रेशियो है. एक खराब साल, 4 अच्छे साल. So if you are staggering your money, you are actually going against the stream. What my logic? What I believe, आज आपके पास पैसा है, you have come to participate in the market, right? तो फिर आप दिमाग क्यों लगा रहे हो उसको स्टैगर करके कि नीचे आएगा? योर odds are 4:1, 4 against you. आप डालोगे 4 बार, चांसेस है मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा, और आपने अगर स्टैगर किया तो आपका पैसा हर ऊपर लेवल पे जाएगा. सो राइट इन्वेस्टर, इफ यू हैव अ 5 to 10 year मनी, जितना पैसा आज डाल दो. Don't even think.
Because now markets also not given great returns this year.
हाँ, so
the odds are better.
So the odds are better, even more better. If your recent past is worse, then the odds become even better. But चलो उसको आप भूल जाओ. आज आपके पास फ्रेश पैसा है, आई ऑलवेज से डाल दो. हर 3-4 महीने में अगर आपके पास कुछ लमसम आता है, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ बिजनेसमैन आउट देयर, लॉट ऑफ सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड, राइट, जो बोलते हैं मैं SIP नहीं. सी SIP किसके लिए करना चाहिए? SIP उसके लिए करना चाहिए जिसका एक सैलरी इनकम आ रहा है. तो उसमें दिमाग नहीं लगाना है. मेरा 50,000 का सेविंग है, मैंने 50,000 हर महीने आया, मैंने दिमाग नहीं लगा, डाल दिया. फॉर हिम और हर SIP इज द बेस्ट. सो वाई आई एम डूइंग SIP? बिकॉज दो आई एम एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, आई गेट सैलरी फ्रॉम माई फर्म, आई टेक सैलरी फ्रॉम माई फर्म, एंड मैं दिमाग नहीं लगाता हूँ, वो 40L पूरा चला जाता है. तो इसलिए वेल्थ बन गया. बट देर आर मेनी पीपल हु मे नॉट गेट दिस काइंड ऑफ सैलरी इनकम. दे मे हैव 1 lakh कमिंग दिस मंथ, 3 lakh कमिंग आफ्टर 3 months. तो जिस दिन 1 lakh है, देन दे शुडंट डू SIP. आज 1 लाख आया, आज 1 लाख डाल दिया. 4 महीने बाद 50,000 आया, डाल दिया. 6 महीने बाद और 20,000 आया, डाल दिया. जस्ट extrapolate this over a long term. This is nothing but SIPs.
Yeah.
SIPs of irregular amounts.
Correct.
Of irregular periods, but it's a long stream of SIPs for 20 years.
Correct.
तो this lump sum is nothing but an SIPs, but at least a good thing you are doing is you are not applying your mind. आज आया तो आज डाल दिया. And why I said lump sum पैसा बनता है, so there are many funds in mutual fund industry जहाँ पे आपने 20-25 साल पहले पैसा डाला, all have become 100x, right? तो but बहुत लोगों ने वो जर्नी को कंप्लीट नहीं किया. दे हैव नॉट स्टेड देयर फॉर 20 years. सो द रियल वेल्थ इज मेड कि आज आपने डाल दिया. सो द हैक विच आई गिव पीपल, एनी मनी दैट यू आर पुटिंग टुडे, promise to yourself that this money I'm not going to touch for 10 years.
Or else don't put that amount.
Or else don't put in the highest risk wala. Put in multi-asset or equity savings fund जिसको आपको 2 साल में निकालना. Any money that you want to compound at 12% or more, the promise to yourself should be I'm not going to touch this money for 10 years. So this installment that I'm putting will stay for 10 years, this installment 10 years, this installment 10 years, this है. एक installment 10 years खत्म हो चुका है and I now need the money, use this one. 99% or 100% of the time you will get positive 12% kind of returns from this installment. कैसा भी मार्केट हो, पॉजिटिव तो हमेशा ही होगा. 99% चांसेस दैट यू वुड हैव अर्न 10 to 12% रिटर्न फ्रॉम दिस इंस्टॉलमेंट. इफ यू स्टे विद दिस 10% 10 years वाला थिंग कि मैं नहीं निकालूंगा, देन एनी टाइम इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू पुट इन द मार्केट. That's this thing.
Interesting. So now I want to ask you one question on checklist.
Yes.
Do you have a mutual fund checklist? Like
Yes.
what to look for, red flags?
Yes, absolutely. So the red flags which I look in for,
A checklist also.
हाँ,
like-
checklist also. So for me, my checklist is very simple. My first checklist is I start with my goals in the sense what is my time frame, what is my risk appetite, okay, horizon and risk appetite. So personally, with my money, I'm not diversified. All my money is in equities, by the way. Equity mutual funds, no direct equities. So within equity mutual fund, I can take any kind of risk. Because the fact that it's a diversified portfolio and will never become zero is the biggest
That is the biggest risk deterrent for you.
deterrent for me, right? So I like to take any kind of risk. And the other good thing with me in mutual fund is कि the fund manager should have at least 15 to 20 years of experience. That's my checklist
15
item.
to 20 years. of
Yes.
experience. So
The
it has to be a
reason-
mature fund manager who's seen at least 3 cycles.
Exactly the point, because then he will not be disturbed by these things. He stick to his styles. He won't change and adapt. I actually want fund manager to stick to his style, because if you are a new fund manager और आपने 2 साल कोई style follow किया, didn't work, then you'll have so much pressure. At the wrong time you'll change your style, and then again you will do bad.
Do you exit when a fund manager changes and his style is different?
So normally I don't do that also. The reason being, one thing I've realized, Shashank, even if you're the worst mutual fund investor,
You will still get
you still get 13%, 12% return. यार, you know, what more do you want? मतलब म्यूचुअल फंड एक ऐसा व्हीकल है, मैंने देखा है, आप कितनी भी गलती कर लो, खाली एक गलती मत करना कि आप निकल मत जाना वहां से. Otherwise you end up choosing the worst performing fund.
Yeah,
Okay, you will still make 12, 13, 14% kind of return.
correct.
And I want to just show you a few data points.
Yeah,
I think
please
that will really convince our investors. So this is one data point. This is a 10,000 SIP made over 25 years. Okay, 25 years. The best performing fund में आपने 10,000 डाला 25 years के लिए, तो एक साल में 1,20,000, 25 साल में 30 lakhs. The best performing fund, your portfolio became 8.5 crores. Best performing fund. And I just, for our example, this is Nippon India Growth Fund. It's not a recommendation. That fund XIR was 22%.
Correct.
Class. Out of 30 funds, number 1. Nobody will have this fund because it's random. The worst performing fund over a 25-year period, in this case, happens to be LIC Flexi Cap Fund. That 30 lakhs has still become 1.38 crores. Okay. And what is the XIRR, 10.71% return.
The worst.
The worst performing
is
fund.
also at 10.
ये भी किसी के पास नहीं होएगा. क्योंकि,
So most likely you're in the middle, but you're making good money.
So now I'm coming to the middle. So worst was 10.71 XIR. Best was 21.84 XIR. None of us would have ever this. These are extreme cases. What is the middle? The middle of the pack, median, is 17.11% XIR. And your 30 lakhs has become 4 crores rupees plus.
That's not bad at all.
It's not bad. So
That's
your worst
great.
performing fund SIP has given you 17. My worst performing lump sum for the last 13 years has given me 13% CAGR. FD का डबल. लोग 10-10 साल FD में रखते हैं और यहाँ नहीं रख सकते हैं. यहाँ 3 साल में उनको भागना होता है कि अगर रिटर्न नहीं आ रहा है. और मैंने 13 साल रखा है, मुझे मालूम है ये सबसे खराब है तो भी 13 है, और मुझे आज भी मालूम है कि दिस 13 विल गो टू 16 17. आई एम जस्ट वेटिंग, आई एम जस्ट बाइंग माई टाइम आराम से. तो कितना भी खराब स्ट्रैटेजी म्यूचुअल फंड में कर लो, एज लॉन्ग एज यू डोंट एग्जिट, यू विल मेक टेरिफिक रिटर्न्स.
बहुत लोग करते हैं जो 1-2% के लिए एग्जिट करके दूसरा इसमें जाता है. आज
ये
का
मैं नहीं
best.
खेलता हूँ. मैं 5 साल में हार्डली 1 या 2 एग्जिट किया है और 1 या 2 लमसम डाले हैं बड़े, अदरवाइज SIP है. आई एम अ वेरी स्लीपी इन्वेस्टर.
'Focus on active income'.
Focus on active income. That's where even I works on Sundays also, right? Because that's in your hand and you like to do it. और वहाँ से ज़्यादा पैसा आएगा तो ज़्यादा डाल सकोगे ना.
So what is your target? If I had to ask you, like now you've done your SIPs, you know your compounding, you know your math.
Correct.
Let's say by the age of 65, what are you seeing your target? Ballpark.
You know, if I tell you the figures, you won't believe me.
Because compounding is very weird.
Exactly
that
the
way.
point. At 65, you know, the rate at which I'm going, the portfolio value can actually become not less than 3,000 crores.
3,000 crores.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you have to remember one thing, at 65, I'll be earning massive active income also. And I'm going to put that. My portfolio it's around 60 right now. 60. It started with 10,000 SIP in 15 years back. It was zero, right? But that's the power I've seen, that if you just stay consistent, just focus on your active income. देखो, एक्टिव में दिमाग लगाओ, सब कुछ लगाओ, पैसे में कुछ मत करो, दिमाग मत लगाओ. People do उल्टा.
Correct. पैसे में ज़्यादा
दिमाग लगाते हैं. And that's one of the reasons why I tell 90% of the people कि आप डायरेक्ट स्टॉक में इन्वेस्ट करके पैसा नहीं बना सकते हो. आप दिन भर मनी कंट्रोल में चेक करके इन एंड आउट करके पैसा नहीं बना सकते हो.
And I'm sure you would also thought of an exit, right? Because you would have planned all of that. So exit would be via HWP because that is something.
So in my case, what I see, शायद ये पैसा कभी एग्जिट जरूरत पड़ेगा नहीं, unless I mean, in my lifetime goals के लिए, the only goal which I'll ever require money is a Rolls Royce car, which will cost 15 to 20 crores. That's when I have to do a large exit. But apart from that, I feel the kind of active income I'm earning, every other goal can be actually met by.
So you don't need the liquidity.
I don't need liquidity.
And this will just keep compounding for generational wealth.
And I'm like, my risk profile out of 10 is 9 and 10. So most of my money is in mid and small cap funds.
Nice.
Which is earning crazy returns, 17-18%. DSP example, I give you 21% for 15
So
years.
how many small mid cap is good? Like let's say I want to buy mid cap funds.
Correct.
People usually say 2 खरीदो.
हाँ.
But is there some?
नहीं. So वैसे तो मैंने आपको ये 5 फंड का बताया, right? ये 5 फंड मोर देन आइडियल है, बट आप चलो थोड़ा
Aggressive
और टाइम बाद थोड़ा और एग्रेसिव करना है, तो एक तो लास्ट वाला आपके पास एग्रेसिव है.
Yes.
राइट, वो एग्रेसिव है. अगर आपको एक मिड और एक स्मॉल लेना है एग्रेसिव, तो एक मिड और एक स्मॉल काफी
Only because your average law of averages.
यस, क्योंकि एक मिड कैप और एक स्मॉल कैप में डालते तो 40-50 कंपनीज आर देयर.
Yeah.
तो आप और ज्यादा उसको करने का कोशिश करोगे ना, द रिटर्न गेट्स मर्ज टू एवरेज ओनली.
Pretty much the same
It doesn't
over
really
time.
impact your returns in a positive way. Beyond a point. तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. I always say mutual fund portfolio not more than 4, 5 to 6 funds.
That's it. And just keep the buffing on.
Just keep. अभी आज की डेट में, and I'm admitting right now, over the years I've also accumulated 10, 12, 13, 14 funds. It's not good. Though I've made 17.
You're saying 13 funds not good. I know people.
हाँ, नहीं, I know, because क्या होता है, देखो, see, I attended recently Warren Buffett का conference. I went to US and attended Omaha किया. वॉरेन बफेट का स्टॉक पोर्टफोलियो आप देखोगे ना, 5% ऑफ द स्टॉक्स आर मोर देन 50% ऑफ द वेटेज. इनफैक्ट एक साल पहले तो एप्पल वाज 50%.
Yes.
एंड हिज पोर्टफोलियो इज $350 ट्रिलियन पोर्टफोलियो काइंड ऑफ थिंग, राइट? तो जब दैट ओरेकल ऑफ ओमाहा कैन डू वन स्टॉक 50%
Concentration.
तो आई केम बैक. अभी मैंने एक रिसेंटली PMS में पैसा डाला है. सो आई डू दिस, एंड 2-3 PMS है. अगेन PMS एंड म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर वन एंड द सेम, because it's managed portfolios. Mutual funds are managed portfolios. मैं अपना दिमाग नहीं लगा रहा हूँ. तो PMS में भी I've given money to few fund managers. Of course, PMS is a tax disadvantage. PMS is a fees disadvantage, which mutual funds has. So 90% of the time I'm for mutual funds because it has a lesser fees. And the biggest reason why I'm in mutual fund, because 15 साल आपने tax defer कर दिया ना, वो compounding अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी है.
Because that tax is also compounding.
Because tax in PMS, every year you're paying tax. So every year government is taking your share.
Yeah.
The only thing which I tried for the first time in my life, it's a trial. I'm a big fan of concentration as such. But because I don't know stocks on my own, I can't do on my own. That will be a big harakiri. So recently I gave my money to a fund manager, almost once a year. It's actually once a year, to invest in 4 micro cap stocks. Yeah. This is my moonshot bet. That fund manager has a 35-year track record. I know him very
good.
and he has put in his lot of money, right? These are his 4 best conviction ideas.
Micro cap.
I have unlimited patience, 5-7 years. As long as the fund manager tells me to wait, I'll wait because I trust him. But I'm giving a moonshot idea to try, is this kind of concentration bet, does it work? And let's say if it earns this portfolio of mine has earned 18% CAGR. कुछ नहीं किया तो भी 18% आया. There at least expectation is 22 to 25 at least. अगर वो आ गया 20 to 25, it's worth the wait and everything. And that's a buy and hold. So there's not going to be taxation down in. It's a multi-bagger he has got into. So let's see 5 years, 7 years down the line. If it bets, then maybe I would be that's why I said I'll concentrate my mutual fund portfolio also. I'm waiting for a good market crash. 30% market crash आएगा, मैं 13 का 4 कर दूंगा.
हाँ,
because you know why that time? Because you will be paying less amount of tax to the government of India.
Because your anyway it's falling down.
Notional values have fallen much, 30% down ना. उस वक्त clean up करने के लिए best time है. And that's my recommendation to all our viewers. The best time to clean up a portfolio is a market crash.
Sir, I think we have got some insane amount of information today. And I love your hacks. I think you've given almost, you said 3-4, but you've given almost 10 hacks, which is amazing. And I would love to actually do this again with you maybe after 10 years and then see how the compounding has kicked in. The main thing is compounding. Everything else will keep moving around.
Everything else, what we discuss is 5% of the story. The biggest thing is compounding.
Exactly.
And let us end this with a real example.
Yeah, I want to know this.
Yeah. So again, I'm just naming the fund, but because naming a fund makes the whole conversation looks authentic. Yeah. Of course, it's not a recommendation at all. So there is this fund, let's say HDFC Flexi Care Fund. This fund came in 95. And why this fund I'm saying? Because for good 30, this fund has completed 30 years and 28 years, एक ही fund manager run कर रहा था. Very rarely it happens in mutual fund industry. For 28 years, one single fund manager has run the entire fund. If different fund managers have come in, then, styles change and a lot of things change. But here, good, bad, ugly, everything was due to that fund manager. So in 1995, Shashank, let me ask this question to you. 10,000 rupees SIP, I would have requested you to start. आपने 1,20,000 पहले साल में डाला, right? उसका वैल्यू 1 लाख रुपया हो गया at the end of 1 year.
I can't even imagine this compounding. Yeah.
1,20,000 डाला, it has become 1 lakh at the end of 1 year. तो आप क्या करोगे? So my experience tells me 95% people will stop their SIPs. कि अरे 1 साल डाला, ये तो नेगेटिव है. FD में करता तो बेटर था. तो चलो ये वो सोचेंगे, they will think कि fund is bad. Let me stop my SIP. They may not pull money out.
They may not add more.
They will certainly not add more. Stagnate और SIP बंद कर देंगे. 95% will stop their SIPs. Because I'm saying this because this is what's happening on all these direct platforms. Because they have no advisor. They think it was a wrong decision. Let me stop. And they'll chase another hot performing fund. ठीक है? तो 95% stop कर दी SIP. Next year, the 5% continued. You put another 1,20,000. So total कितना डाला? 240. If I tell you the value of 2.4 is 1.75.
Okay.
After the end of 2 years और गिर गया.
Another half would have gone there only.
Right? तो 3% और लोग अपना बंद कर देंगे. सिर्फ 2% बाकी रहेंगे और 2% भी बाकी क्यों रहे हैं कि यार 240 डाला है, 175 है, तो जब बराबर आ जाएगा तो निकाल लूँगा. नुकसान में नहीं निकालता हूँ. Third year 3.6 डाला आप टोटल, 1.2 तो 3.6. This year market did very well. Your losses narrowed down to 3.42 lakhs.
So only very small, 18,000.
और 3.42 आ गया है.
Yeah.
तो
18,000.
तो जो 98% कर रहे थे, अब 1% और बंद कर देगा अपना SIP. क्योंकि अभी भी नुकसान दिखा रहा है. 3 साल का SIP किया है और प्रॉफिट नहीं बना है. तो सिर्फ 1% लोग अपना SIP चालू रखा है और 3.42 वैल्यू हो गया है. 4th year 1,20 और डाला तो 480 डाला. 4th year में markets did very well and your current value showing 6.19 lakhs.
Oh wow, what a outperformance.
4th year.
Okay.
You know what will happen?
50% up.
It's 50% up because 3.42 का 6.19 हो गया. Correct? All 100% people will withdraw their money.
Yes.
All. जो लोग खराब सोच रहे थे, बोला कि चलो पैसा वापस आ गया, प्रॉफिट मतलब आ गया, निकालो ये
बोनस
छोड़ो, भागो कहीं दूसरा जगह जाओ, लक आ गया. Only those people who've forgotten about this SIP or who are dead by now in the 5th year, their SIP is continuing. And one more example I'm giving you, in the next year, 6 lakhs, एक और डाला आपने 1 20, तो 6 लाख डाला. What is the value in the 6th year? At the end of 5th year, 480 का 619 हुआ था at the end of 4th year.
Correct.
अगले साल आपने 1 20 और डाला तो 6 lakhs हो गया.
Correct.
At the end of 5th year, the value of 6 lakhs is 18 lakhs.
18 lakhs. How
उससे
is
एक
that?
साल पहले 6 lakhs था, अगले साल 18 lakhs हो गया because markets zoom
Short.
like this. And all the NAVs that you bought in the first 4 years were such low prices and then zoop this
Wow.
price. This is how you make returns in SIPs. But there are nobody to
Guide
earn.
you.
No, there nobody to earn this return because कोई है ही नहीं. Everybody has left.
So
by
ये
now.
अभी तक चल रहा है HDFC Flexi?
अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ. तो 5 साल में आपने 18 लाख बनाया.
हाँ.
तो 95 में आपने स्टार्ट किया. पहला 15 years फेज खत्म होता है 2010. तब तक आपने इसमें 18 लाख रुपए डाल दिए. 1,20,000 into 15 years. 18 लाख का वैल्यू आफ्टर 15 years. Just to tell you, at the end of 2009 end, the value was 2.44 crores.
Okay. Wow.
18 lakhs,
10x. More than 10x. 12x.
2.44
Yeah.
crores. This is not compounding. अब compounding अब शुरू हो गया.
After 10 years it starts.
Exactly. तो ये पहला 15 साल मैंने बताया आपको. 18 lakhs, 2.44 crores. अगले 15 साल में भी और आपने 18 लाख डाल दिया.
36 lakhs is your investment.
Total 36 lakhs. अगले 18 साल में you have made 17.5 crores rupees in the next 18 years, and you add the first 15 and next 15, 2.5 plus 17.5. Today 36 lakh SIP worth is 20 crores rupees.
आज रिटायर मतलब he's done.
He's done with
done
10,000 SIPs. Entire family is sorted. 10,000
Yeah.
का SIP. But the real kicker came in the last 15 years, not the first 15. First 15 में तो सिर्फ 2.5 करोड़ बनाया. Next 15 में 17.5 करोड़ बनाया.
And इतना patience of 2008 crash, 2000 crash, COVID
Exactly.
crash, everything has to be sustained.
तो अभी मैंने जो मेरा 10,000 का SIP का एग्जाम्पल दिया ना, खाली 15 साल का फर्स्ट लेग खत्म हुआ है. नेक्स्ट लेग जो 17.5 करोड़ वाला है वो आना बाकी है. सो मे बी एज यू सेड हम जब 10 साल बाद करेंगे तो यू विल अरे यू विल बी सीइंग अ डिफरेंट फिगर ऑल टुगेदर.
Yeah, I would want to see that, honestly.
It is going to be mind blowing because
Yeah.
it has blown my, when I say today my portfolio is 60 and today I can confidently say you, if I don't do any stupidity, any if I don't get this thing in by greed and fear and I continue my rationality and focus for another 15 years, 2,000-2,500 crore portfolio is a given. Because what I'm playing now is not a market game. What I've now understood and playing is a mathematical game. बस maths और कुछ नहीं. And the only way you can play this maths game is not to interrupt the process. Keep automation on, keep the patience on, keep the stupidity on कि ये चलने दो, कुछ नहीं करना है. अगर दुनिया एंड होगी तो सबके लिए एंड होगी और एक ही बार एंड होगी. We won't have discussion after this. तो फिर ये पैसे का कोई मतलब नहीं है. तब तक एंड नहीं होता है. It only seems to be ending. ट्रम्प ने टैरिफ किया, इंडिया खत्म हो जाएगी. ईरान इजराइल वॉर होगा, इंडिया पाकिस्तान वॉर होगा, इंडिया एंड हो जाएगी. ऐसा एंड नहीं होता है. यू हैव टू हैव दैट फेथ इन ह्यूमन इंजेन्युइटी, मैनकाइंड, बिकॉज अनलेस यू हैव फेथ इन द फ्यूचर you can never make money out of equities.
I think this has been a great podcast, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Please share me some of those things as well, and I am very, very, very happy with this. I am excited for you more than myself, and I've also realized now that I need to do an SIP to clear my loan also. So that is something I will start tomorrow immediately.
4,700, it's peanuts.
कल ही start करने वाला हूँ immediately. अभी वही करने वाला हूँ. But again, sir, thank you a lot for coming here, giving your time and explaining it in such detail, which has actually opened a lot of people's eyes, not just mine. And you've removed most of the myths that we were scared of.
Correct.
And I think 90% of you guys are also jumping, mutual funds. Now, I think with that data, now you understood that you cannot jump mutual funds. Just chill and do the boring stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, sir, once again for being here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please click on that subscribe button as well. And again, a big shout out to our sponsor, which is Grow, because they have included us as a part of the Grow network, which enables us to give you such awesome content as well. So if you want to know more about Grow, check out the link in the description and I will see you guys soon.